Hello,
Ash, is
ladies and
that you?
gentlemen.
Is that you?
Yeah, it is me. It
Hold
is
on.
not the facade that took over.
You,
You're telling me to hold?
you are not Mrs. Von Chaumier that
What
was
did it
on
say,
the.
Miss? Is that what it was? I
It
didn't
said
catch on to the
her.
girl thing.
So it said that
Ah,
her profile is locked. It's her profile.
okay, okay.
She has locked her profile when I went there.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today, some of you might know, I was on my way to the mechanic to pick up my van, dealing with some shit, and then I get messages from Dick saying that somebody's hacked my Facebook account. I'm like, no, man, and I go and look, and it's somebody posing as me selling shirts or something. I didn't even click on the
It's
link. I don't know if it actually took
common.
you to shirts.
That's a really common scam.
I know.
So I saw it. I saw it. It was on our post about fixing the shed, fixing your studio, fixing the roof, right?
Okay.
And it said if you want a T-shirt, click the link here. Tag me and like 12 other
Uh,
people. Usually, I think the first time I saw that scam was on Clint Lowry's page from Seven Dust. He does a lot of solo stuff where he's like sitting in
oh,
his home studio and he plays music like on a platform like this.
yeah.
And someone tagged me selling his T-shirts, and that's happened to Core as
Oh, yeah.
well.
Yep.
It's happened to Core. It's happened once. I think it happened to Fighting Giants before. A real common thing. And I reported it one time, and Facebook had said that this doesn't. We found that this does not go against our community standards. And I was like, how
What?
is that not? I said these people are pretending to be somebody. They're selling unauthorized merchandise through a third party
Yeah.
service. And like, because we have you and I have a Teespring account with Q the Muses. So you can
Right.
go on to teespring.com and purchase Q the Muse stuff. We have some artwork uploaded on there. But technically, what Facebook was saying at that time was that anybody could go online, find Solo Cupp's page,
Yep.
copy paste his logo, upload it to Teespring, and then make a link, and then post it on his pages, links on his pages, just like that, to purchase illegitimate merchandise. And they,
As him or just on
well,
his
it
wall? I'm
wasn't
just trying to
necessarily
understand
as
where.
him.
Okay. Okay.
Today was the first time I've seen that scam where they actually made a clone account, because
They
it wasn't you.
cloned
You
my
weren't.
page. Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't hacked. They made a copy paste of your page.
That was what was confusing me because you messaged me. I got that message. I immediately hopped on Facebook. I didn't see any posts that was weird. I'm like, okay, it must be personal
I did the
messages through
same thing and I
Messenger.
couldn't find nothing.
I couldn't find
Yeah,
anything. And
yeah.
then, you shared that. Well, you shared the link or you shared
I
a
shared
picture
a
of the link.
screenshot. I screenshot it
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
said you'd been hacked, and then David Stratton was on there. He was jumping all over it too. He made a post,
Yeah.
Ash von Shamier, you've been hacked. And I
Right.
was like, I was like, well, hold on. So I clicked the link to the Ash von Chaumier that posted that link. And
Yes.
it said that we weren't friends and that the profile was locked. And I was like,
Ah,
I said, well, crap. Um, Maybe they've locked his account. But then I went back and I hit on your post, I hit yours, and it took me to your normal page. And I was like,
okay. Okay.
okay, this is a clone. So I reported the clone page to Facebook,
How did
and
you report it so
it was
people know? Because
it
it
was
worked.
instantaneous. So from the
Yeah.
screen, like when I clicked on the profile, went to the profile, even though it said it was locked, it still had the three icons, add friend, whatever the middle one is, and then the three dots. So
Mm.
the three dots is what I clicked, and there's an option to report
Mm.
profile, and then there's an option you follow it in there, like it's literally impersonating someone, and then I clicked it's a friend, they're impersonating a friend, and then it had me choose which friend, and I chose
Okay.
you pulled up on my friends list. So I actually sent Facebook your account, they're
Yeah.
reporting this account side by side. They emailed me, like their algorithm, they have to have it set up through like a automated thing. They
Sure.
emailed me
Of course.
directly and said, we
Yeah.
realize this is your friend's account, not you. We're removing your ticket. Basically, we're going to delete your ticket and we're starting it with him, and we're taking care of this immediately. Then you
Okay.
text me, I just got an email from Facebook, and it was done. Like then I
That's
clicked
the
on, like,
way it.
as
Yeah.
soon as it happened, I was like, I was actually
Wow.
impressed with
Pretty
Facebook. Like,
impressive. Yeah, me too. They've
yeah,
obviously really gotten this down a lot better than I remember horror stories of stuff. I mean, I had lost my original Instagram account which I don't really keep up with Instagram anyway, but I had an original Instagram account and it was hacked and I never got it back. I couldn't contact anybody. And this
Oh
experience
man.
isn't a straight hack, so I don't know if they've still resolved that in a better way, but now there's the two-step authentication so you can have it send the text to your phone or whatnot. But the way
Mhm.
that it did work on my end is once you did that, I then got all this is happening while I'm in the mechanic lobby, trying to get my van and pay out the ass to get my van back. And I mean, they did a great job and all that, but it just cost money to fix the vehicle. And then, I got an email and it just said that a friend has reported that there might be a clone account, something along those lines, and we're going to look into this. We take this very seriously. Should it prove that they are not you, we're going to remove them. And
Yeah.
you were like
That
simultaneously messaging me saying that account's locked.
yeah,
That you saw that it was locked.
it was gone. Like after they sent me the email that they were emailing you, I was like, okay, let's see. I went to go back to that page and it was just nothing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
the comment was gone, the page was gone, everything. Both the posts comments were deleted. It was like fucking poof, gone.
Well, all right. So this kind of scam it's like it doesn't even work, but at the same token, for people that don't follow you regularly and they're just friends on Facebook, it's like they haven't heard from you in a long time. And now you're here like tagging them, trying to sell some crap. I don't even know what was on the shirts that were trying to be sold, but
Didn't click the link.
exactly, don't click the link. It's like
It
who
may have
God
not been a
knows.
shirt. It might have been a fish link.
Yeah,
Totally, 100%. And the first person, ironically, that was at the top of the tagged list was, I'm not going to say the name, but it was somebody that I literally was talking about earlier today on the phone, who I don't talk about normally, with a client because we were going to talk to them about possibly doing a video because we thought there was a bunch of mutual interest. I get off the phone and then I'm
I
literally 30 minutes later, I'm seeing he's the first one on that list. I was like, this is weird as shit, man. Hey, yeah, that's it. Don't put it down. Yeah, I mean, he might be, I don't know if he'll want to do a video, but that's like,
he
I'm just
has a
like,
hardware store.
so he hadn't heard from me in a while, and here I am trying
Yeah.
to sell him shirts, and hey, check out my shirts. It's just like, you're messing up business relationships too.
Yes.
It's like people
Yep.
get in there, and it's just such a crummy thing to do that I can't believe people actually. Nobody falls for it. The only thing they fall for is clicking the link to see what it is, and then it's a phishing scam just to get
Yes.
data because nobody's going to go there and buy a
Yeah.
shirt.
Yeah.
I think you're
No.
dead on with it, Jason. So, all
I
right.
had a
Well,
nickel for every time I bought a shirt off of Facebook.
so Facebook did a good job today on that, but now I want to bash Facebook, and I think we can all collectively do this together. So I want to bring up a topic that we'll all probably have something to talk about on it. Okay. So the problem, it's not just Facebook. It's a problem that we've talked about before in other episodes, but I think I still explain this to new clients, that hire me to make videos and stuff, and they act like it's new information. So let's be the information source on just establishing that this happens. Okay, guys, like oh no,
I can hear you.
Solo Cupp's out.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not going to participate in bashing Facebook. He's out.
He's still here.
I hear you. We're going to
I
ride
don't-
with
I
you.
don't know what happened, dude. Something's acting dumb.
I wonder if it'll come back in, if it's just a drop in signal strength.
Your browser has lost connection to the camera. Make sure you have the right camera selected.
Oh, and this is a camera mounted to your laptop, right? This is the
No,
laptop?
it's
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a
Um,
webcam. So Jason can
Sometimes
work on
exiting
it.
and re-entering.
Yeah, you can keep going down that avenue you were talking about, Ash.
Okay, I'm going to go for it. So the problem for everybody that makes some piece of content that ultimately let's say you want to build up an archive of it, you want to show a play count for it. So you're going to use, let's say YouTube. You could say the same thing about Spotify though, but anything that you share on any of the social media sites that aren't directly uploaded to the site barely gets shared. Like nobody sees these posts. So if you make a YouTube video and you post that link into your Facebook post, you're lucky to get a couple of likes on it unless people are anticipating it, waiting for it.
In some instances you can't even place the link. I just recently found this out. On Instagram, you cannot post a YouTube link. On it
Right.
will not register. I didn't know that, and
That's Instagram.
I don't know that much information about it. Yeah, but Instagram. So because Instagram and Facebook are linked
Yeah.
together, and there's a third one that I'm not super familiar with called Threads, and they're all three in the same, like they live in the same space. You post on one, and then you can have an option to automatically put it on the other ones, but YouTube won't even post on there. But
Well, Instagram specifically it's trying to be a different style of experience. So they don't, this is correct. It's been that way from the jump where you can't really put a link directly into Instagram because of
Instagram.
how it operates. Yeah. Now, Threads, I don't know, but that's the emulation of Twitter, so it's again operating on a different way where it's supposed to, which I haven't used it at all, even though I set up an account initially.
Yeah,
But
I did the same, but I haven't. I had
everyone
the app
signed up for it.
Yeah, I had the app for a minute, and it still posts stuff to Threads, and I get notifications that I have new followers on Threads. So, little PSA to my recent followers on Threads: 1, thank you. 2, I apologize. I'm not actually there, but my content goes there.
Yeah. No, totally. And the reason it was interesting actually, because the valuation and for Threads went through the roof because it was like the fastest subscription model, or not subscription, the fastest site that obtained members in history, right? It like went faster even than like, hey, what's up? We got Jason back.
Jason's back.
It said restart computer, man. Sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. Hey, you're back
Yeah.
with video and everything. So we're just really talking about how, in particular, we kind of went down a rabbit hole already, but just that how frustrating this is when you're making content that you're trying to expose to the world, and you try to share it via YouTube, and it will not spread the word at all. So what do you do? You can't even tell people in your post to go check out a video on YouTube if you put YouTube in the information.
Yes, it knows it's there. It's insane.
It's like
I don't even really try it anymore. I mean, it's just golly.
Yeah, Big Dave still does. He does a lot of self-recorded songs. And he always says, "Hey, I got a new song. Check it out. Links in the comments." And then puts the link in.
But
the
it
comments.
just doesn't make a difference.
It used to be. That used to be a good way to get out, but it doesn't do it anymore.
I think it was a theory to work, and it never worked. I think that they were wise to it like almost immediately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just a theory as to how to get around it.
They figured that out on week 1.
They did, dude. They did.
I even retroactively go back to posts because, like, sometimes I'll put a post like I'm working on something, and it'll get it. Sometimes it'll get a little buzz about it, right? So, like, a lot of people will like it. A lot of comments go on there. A lot of interaction. A little bit of buzz. But then later, I'll make a post that actually has the thing.
Yes.
And it's like
that
exactly.
If you post back on that, everybody gets that notification. That's the way to work, is go back on things.
Yeah, retroactively go back to where you talked about it and people were talking about it, then put it there.
That's a good idea.
I've noticed too, because my page ain't like a regular page no more. I can't remember what I am on Facebook.
Business page?
No, on my Jason Cupp, you can only get to 5,000. Now I'm at 5 point something thousand. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But so maybe a creator or something. I don't know what I am, but I can, if in a video, it's out there. You know what I mean? And some of them catch more people, and you can go and look who liked it and send them an invite to your page. So I figured that out a few months ago, and I went and it boosted me up like 200 people. I just went through all my videos and posts and was like, oh, this person ain't following me. And it kind of worked. So
you're saying that you literally went back and found people that gave it a like, and
you
then you realize
you go on the likes list, and it says that all these people are following you, and it says not, you know what I mean, they're not following you. And,
so you can
it says invite. That's what
it
is. It says invite. Everything else is blank, and then all of a sudden you'll come to invites, and it's all the people that are not on your page, but they liked your content.
Gotcha.
And you can send them an invite. And I figured it out because I liked something. And later that day, it was like they invited me. And I was like, how do they do that? So I researched it and was like, oh, real simple. You just go
So
back
simple,
on.
and honestly, I didn't even know about it. You know, I mean, I know, same thing. I would post a like, and then I get the invite, but I just assumed that was a natural algorithm thing Facebook was doing. I didn't know you could manually go look for the people that liked it. I mean, and that is great. It's just, it's so, for instance, you know,
Time consuming.
it's time consuming, and it seems like such a small drop in the bucket for the level of exposure that you're trying to
Right.
obtain, right? And it's like it's so complicated because so here's where we're at with stuff like, and you guys can relate, I'm sure. It's like, well, obviously Dick can relate because we're in the same project. The reason we upload, first we share the YouTube link because any plays that we get there are going to be archived. There's a number under it. We're growing a channel. You can really get subscribers that actually follow the content. Every time you post something on YouTube, everyone that's a subscriber actually has access to it, gets notified about it. It's a complete crapshoot with Facebook. You know, even you're lucky to get like 3% of the people that you have 5,000 people. When you put a post out, you're lucky if a few hundred of those people actually see your post by Facebook's own algorithm.
If
So
it's something hot, I'll get 150. You know what I mean? Other than that, 20 or 30.
Right, exactly. Which is so disappointing. That's very different than YouTube's model, because YouTube, if you have subscribers, they all know. They're all going to get an email with a link. So that's a much more powerful platform to promote. Plus, should you get the opportunity to discuss things with a label or producers or investors and all that kind of stuff, they want to see some numbers. And Facebook is kind of a black abyss of, you know, I mean, the Burt Reynolds video that we did that took all the play, like somebody ganked it and then it garnered all these millions of plays and they're all gone to the ether. Nobody knows about the nearly 30 million plays that we generated on that video. It doesn't exist online in that form anymore. It's only available on YouTube. So what we've been doing is we'll share the YouTube link first, try to get whatever plays we can try to get from that, with Facebook not sharing it. And then I upload the video directly to Facebook, you know, because Facebook will share content uploaded to its own platform more. But the problem with that is the plays are kind of just buried in the ether, and the quality is not nearly as good. You can't, like, they took away 4K. Like now it's just like HD, and so that's pretty disappointing. And even the HD is quite compressed. It's not as good as YouTube HD, and that sucks because that also diminishes the sound quality of your music video, and that's a bummer, you know.
Yeah.
So what do we? There's no way. Like, how do you get around this?
Well, it's like it's all this social media stuff. It's all filtered. Everything's filtered for some reason or another. Not to go down like a conspiracy rabbit hole, but even streaming platforms, not video streaming platforms, but audio streaming platforms. So I use Amazon.
They hold you back too unless you pay money. It's right.
Let's get into that in a second. I want you to talk about that, Jason. Let us.
Yeah. Like, but Facebook will filter through what it thinks you want to see. And I know I haven't, so I think a lot of people probably don't, but you can really go in and adjust your Facebook, like only follow the people that you want to follow. You have a bunch of friends. I don't have as many as a lot of people, but I have, I think, right at 1,000 friends on Facebook. And I've kind of gone through and like filtered to like, okay. Just like some people like, I don't want to see this guy's stuff every day. Sorry. Like, just, it's not like we're friends, but you know what? I don't want to see that every day. And you can kind of do that. And I think a lot of people do that specifically, but you can go through and like filter the kind of things you want to see. Cause every third thing you see scrolling on Facebook is a sponsored ad for something. Yeah. And it's like, you can tailor it so you can have it set up the way you want it. But a lot of people don't. It's just like kind of at the whim. And when it's that, it's just full of junk. Like
I've been noticing that it asks me, hey, do you like this post? I've never said yes or no. I X out of it and scroll past it. Because I don't know what they're trying to find out, but you ain't going to get it from me.
Yeah.
But it's probably that. They're probably trying to figure out your algorithm so they don't play it. And then you got to pay to see what you want to see.
Well, it's really frustrating too, because it's like the way that it pretty much puts you in this pipeline where you just did this symbol for even the paid streaming platforms like Spotify, which I want you to talk about in a second. Facebook is the same way in that you have to like, once you cross a certain threshold, you're categorized as a business or something, and you're going to have to pay to get it to share. So my business page for Rough Cut, even the regular post, it's like I'm posting a YouTube link, even if I'm not. Like it shares it with nobody because I'm not paying for it to share it with people because it's a business.
And they tested the waters on that, right? Like 10 years ago, I think it was around 2014 was the first time I did experiment with a sponsored Facebook post. I was like, what is this sponsored post? Okay, I could pay. I did it for a couple like local shows. I was in that group 86 The Earth, and with Kurt and Dave and Jeff and Tim and Chris. And I was like, man, I'm gonna drop $100 on a sponsored ad. I'm gonna see just to see, like I'm gonna drop $100, like a little local band show in Tallahassee, and you could tailor to boost the post, right?
Yeah.
And you could pick your area, and you can pick the type of people and what they like, and what that was like. Available. It was opening, and it is still available, but it worked well enough in the early stage, but then Facebook realized what that did. They're like, yep, people will pay us money to do exactly what we're already doing. So we're going to start charging for it.
Yep.
And Facebook, you put a post, you go on there, people see it. That's their product. That's their thing. Everybody's individual. Everybody has their own.
They knew before they implemented that tool, they were going to charge for it. They were just figuring out, trying to dial it in. Yep. So it was effective.
So I did that a couple times.
Get everybody hooked on it. And then
now everybody has to pay. If you want people to see it, you got to pay. You could post whatever you want, but we're only going to show 3 people.
Right.
But if you want to pay us $100, we'll show 7 people.
7.
I know. Dude, it's rough. It's rough, man. Hey, Jason, what's the deal with, like, you were talking about Spotify?
So I'm still learning on that, man. So I did a sponsor. I can't remember what company it is, man. I wish I would have known you was going to ask me this.
That's all good.
But I just Googled like how to get a song played on Spotify, and you can pay companies on the side, and they'll present it to these the people that have the playlists and stuff. You know what I mean? People that have popular playlists, they'll email it to them, and these people know that. I think they're getting a piece of the pie too. So I tried it for like $100 or something dollars. You know what I mean? I can't remember exactly how much it was without looking, but they tell you, okay, we're going to send this to at least 12 playlists, but they also ask what genre of music it is and pick more than 5, which the song that I did was country rap, and it was no more than one genre. You know what I mean? But I picked like 8, so I didn't get on. They sent it to stuff that it had no business being on. And of course, the people we're like, no, this don't fit. Cool song though. You know what I mean? But we winded up getting on 3, and it boosted me from like, I had 2 plays or 3 plays on Spotify, and it boosted it up. Within days, I haven't even looked lately, but it was like 200 and something being on 2 or 3 playlists. I think I made it on.
Yeah.
So I could see where that would work, but there's people paying like $400 a week.
Right.
And up. I'm talking about, I tried just bare minimum, you know what I mean? But it was like, hey, you could do this amount and stuff. And on the low end, it was like $400 a week. And I was like, that's insane.
That's a paycheck.
That's interesting.
And you're not guaranteed. You're not guaranteed. It's just sending it to people that are going to put it in their playlist or put it in a rotation.
Right. Absolutely.
You're not guaranteed anything for that. It's just
for the $400 versus the $100-ish. Were they just going to send it to more lists, or did they offer a higher ranking in the playlist?
I don't know, man. Mine was just, I don't know. It just went to, they said, we're guaranteeing this to go to 12 people. They wanted to send it to 13.
Okay.
At the end, it said, okay, we sent it to these 13 people, and it laid it all out and everything. And what music's on it. You know what I mean? The ones that I got on, both of them had Jelly Roll on it. So I was like,
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
So,
yeah, sure, sure.
was your music already distributed before you sent it out for the playlist? Did you or
yes,
was this
yeah,
part of it?
it was
Okay.
out for like a week or two. I can't remember, man. I'd have to look back on my emails, but it was out for a minute, and I spoke to somebody, and they
Yeah.
were like, "Yeah, I'm kind of doing this and that," and they're kind of in the business. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's what they're doing in their management company for these big bands and stuff. And I just at the right place at the right time, and I sunk it in my head, and then I went home, like, you know, a week later and was like, let me dig into that, and I dug into it, was like, let me try it out, and it worked. But I did it
Yeah.
on
Right.
I mean, $100 is a lot of money, you know what I mean, but that's a low scale in the realm of what we do.
Well, this
Like,
is the thing.
yeah.
So let's dig a little deeper into how much money the game that we're trying to play is. So we're independents. We're right, like $100. It's like I can't even imagine doing that every week, kind of thing, for
No,
something it has no return. It's
right,
such a long
that's it.
game to hopefully get some kind of return. It's not a large investment should you be guaranteed return, but there's no return to this for quite some time, right?
Right.
Now, on the other end of the spectrum, and I know this isn't music, but I still think it's relatable to give you guys some real numbers of just something I know about. So I make videos for businesses, and Trans Am has never paid for any of the ads that are on social media, and we've generated millions of plays with those videos because people are waiting for those. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
share a YouTube link, and people are already ready to find out about it, and then they start sharing
Yeah.
it like wildfire. So
Yep.
it's a different thing when people already have something they love and are passionate about. There's a huge
Yep.
heritage with the Trans Am, the Chevelle, and all that. On the other end of the spectrum, I got another client. I'm not going to say which client, and they spend somewhere near $1 million a year on running their ads across TV and across social media. And now paid streaming is coming into play too. So I know that just off the top that they're spending just about as much on their Facebook ads as they are on broadcast television runs right
God,
now, which
dang,
is
that's
wild
insane.
because broadcast TV is not cheap. So out
Yes.
of that $1 million, if you just think about that, and it's roughly $1 million, it's like not quite, it's a little under that. But we're talking about if you average that out on paper, it's around 70 to 80 grand a month that's being
Yep.
spent.
Yeah.
Around 25 to 30 is being spent per month just on Facebook ads. Around
One
25
company.
to 30, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
around 25 to 30 is being used for broadcast. So these are the kinds of numbers that we're talking about that real players are doing. So when you have a record label backing a band, granted the band's going to have to pay that money back. But this is what the kind of pay that's happening for exposure, that there's just no realm of competition where we could come into that. We are really playing the absolute lottery. So when we talk about even spending like $400 a week, this
Right.
is like, and that's like,
It's
man, I
still
can't
pennies
spend
in the well.
$1,600 a month on this. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
Yeah.
pennies because the
Pennies in the well.
labels are obviously spending
Yeah.
tens of thousands of dollars a month
Yep.
on getting, and it works. It does work, but my God, you got to have every duck in a row to make
Well,
that
yeah.
pay for itself, right?
Yes.
So
The
so it
merch, the
works, and
tour, everything.
I'm sure that the company that's spending $1 million annually has a return that makes
Yes.
that $1 million well worth if it's in their business model and
Exactly.
it's all within that budget.
Yeah.
Over
Now,
tenfold.
what I think that does is it sets the bar at an unrealistic height for avenues or businesses that don't have that sort of yield. Like there's no way
Exactly.
that a rock band's annual yield is going to justify I don't care what they're doing. That's
No.
not
No.
going to justify $1 million annual budget for
For an
promotion.
ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's like I love rock and roll. It's my life, but
Yeah.
it's not realistic. It's just
Yeah.
not there.
See, yeah. Why wouldn't they be like, okay, this is a business, you know what I mean, that does X, Y, and Z, and this is a band, and people are following that band. How about you pay a smaller amount, maybe $100 a month, and everybody gets to see it? Like, come on, man.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is
Like,
the thing. My biggest argument about the whole situation is just lack of exposure, because it's
yeah,
not like we're asking it to, don't just keep pumping it to people, but at a bare minimum, look, I have the people that like me, that I've earned that and know I exist. I've earned that on my own steam, right? At least
Mhm.
show it to the people that follow me.
yes,
I
yeah,
mean, give me a break,
I got.
guys. And
Come
if
on,
it works out, I'm going to generate more watch time on your streaming platform.
yep,
Why would you not do that? I have to pay to give you guys watch time for people that already want to know that I made this. They're
yeah.
trying to know that I made this and they want to
There,
check it out.
it's the inherent idea, the inherent philosophy that they squeeze the rock. You know, the term
Hmm.
squeeze, they're
oh yeah,
squeezing the rock. That's all it's doing. And it sucks. And streaming television, by the way, I'm an avid Amazon guy. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and I love Amazon. I've been using Amazon forever. And I have
It's
a
got ads now.
big
Not too
problem
bad.
with Amazon Video. Right now, I've
Yeah.
been watching every night. I've been watching like 45 minutes of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. I'm on that
right,
kick, right?
Yeah.
So like it's taken me like 3-4 days to watch one of the movies, but they're great. There's no ads, but Amazon has commercials in
Yep.
certain things free to watch with ads. I'm like, wait a minute. I was talking about this. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Okay. Growing up, I grew up in a household where it was a single dad, so he had cable. We had cable. We had a couple of the movie channels. That's the way it used to work. You had basic cable,
yep,
then you had premium cable. So basic cable was the local channels. Premium cable was like the local channels plus TNT, USA.
HBO.
That was the premium movie
That's
channels.
what
That was
I
like
had
we
for
had
HBO.
HBO and Cinemax, and you choose
Yeah, I
either
had it all.
it was like HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, Stars,
Had them.
all
Well, I
that
didn't have
stuff.
stars. That was later, but
All that
yeah, there's,
stuff still exists, right? It all still
yeah.
exists. But now Amazon is so subcategorized with monthly subscriptions. I pay an annual fee for Amazon, like 100
yep,
something bucks, and Amazon Video comes for free. It's part
yes,
Right.
of the thing.
So it's hard
I
to
Great.
complain,
It's
right?
hard to complain
It makes it hard to complain until.
until you go to Amazon Video and then okay, AMC Plus is a thing. It's a channel that has certain movies. You can get that for $7.99 a month.
yep,
You can get Paramount TV. You can get that for $8.99 a month. You can get Shudder. It used to have these Shudder is a horror streaming, and they used to be proprietary to Amazon, and they were free individual channels within Amazon Video. Then one day I got on there and Shudder's gone, and they want $5.99 a month for it. And it's like when you start adding it up, like adding them all up, you can find yourself paying $300 plus a month in
crazy.
Yeah.
in television services on streaming platforms, especially if you have all of them. I canceled Netflix like 6 months ago, 4 months ago. We had Netflix for years, and then I got one
Yep.
too many emails saying, "Sorry guys, we gotta
Yep.
gotta
I've
charge
never
you
had
more
it.
for the same crap
Oh,
we've
really?
been doing for 10 years." Yeah, sorry, Netflix.
We went a year without
Done.
it. We just got it back a few months ago, and it's just got some great. It had a movie on. I was like, I can either buy this movie or I can get a month of Netflix, and I went with the month. And
Right,
we've
yeah,
kept it since. Now Felix is hooked on certain movies on there.
right.
And it had like the movie I wanted to see was Everything Everywhere All at Once, which
Oh
was
yeah,
absolutely
Great movie.
fucking great. But it was like I couldn't rent it. I was either buy it for
Right.
20 something bucks or have Netflix. And but yeah, it is interesting that the fee now is an option for all those channels, and it's all trying to be pipelined through the Amazon app. And so that way it's kind of one interface where you can access all of these things. And then there's these separate fees for each of those channels that are ultimately hosted by other companies that aren't Amazon. So they want to
Yep.
make their money, and Amazon's no longer paying that fee to have access to those movies. I'm kind of okay with that, and that the other companies probably hiked up their prices too, which would then drive up how much Amazon has to pay for it. It's kind of a bonus to have the Amazon Prime, because I'm really just paying for that for shipping. I
Right.
buy so much stuff, I want 2-day shipping, right? So
Yeah, that's why I have it. Same reason.
that's why I have it. I am paying the $3 additional monthly to have no ads on Amazon Prime.
I didn't even know
So
that was an option.
That's an
What do you
option
mean?
for three
What do you
bucks
mean
a
no
month.
ads on Amazon Prime, like the shopping platform?
No, on
No,
Prime Video. I'm sorry.
Okay, Prime Video.
I'm sorry, yo. Prime
Okay.
Video. Sorry, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
on Prime Video, because they've started running ads, of which, you know, I think actually
not
some
on
of the
it's
commercials that I've made
it's
for
not on
companies are running on.
everything. It's not on
Yeah,
everything though.
gotcha.
I've like
But
when
it
I
will
watch.
be inevitably, I
Oh
think.
yeah, it's coming right now. Like with the
Yeah.
Hobbit, all of the Tolkien stuff is on there, and it'll play an ad when you start it.
Right.
And the
yeah.
ad will run like a minute and a half.
Yep.
But
I've
then
noticed
once that one ad's done, you're cruising.
Good for
You're
the
home.
I think
movie.
that's totally reasonable.
That's
Right.
fine. It doesn't bother me because I
I
can
don't
go.
have a problem with that.
I can go do something for a minute and a
Yeah.
half. But like with YouTube,
We know you can.
I get to the point in YouTube.
No longer than a minute and a half, though, because
That's
that'd be a
good
record breaker if it took longer.
I got a serious question for both of you. On YouTube, when you pull a video that has the 45-second ad, do you close it and then open it up several times until you get the 5-second ad?
I've never tried that.
I do it all the time. You sometimes you bum out, you hit a YouTube video and it's got the 45-second ad, like nope, and I go back to it. It's another 41. Nope, you go back 3 or 4 times and then you spend 45 seconds, then you get the 5-second ad, like, yep, that's the one I want, and then you skip it.
You're 2 minutes into it now.
I know.
Nope,
You know what I do?
nope.
I fought it forever, and then this whole last year I went ahead and started YouTube Premium. No ads.
Like YouTube Red or something.
It's just called YouTube Premium now. No ads. And when you're watching videos on your phone, you can close the screen out and you can hear just the audio.
Oh,
So you get YouTube Music as well, which I've never used because I have Spotify. Right. But I got to tell you, YouTube Premium for me has been 100% worth it because I actually watch more YouTube than any other streaming service because I can watch clips and stuff.
I'm becoming that way. I've found myself watching when I sit down in the evening.
So much information available, man.
Yeah, I've started doing more podcasts. I watch a lot of Neil deGrasse Tyson's I love his podcast.
Dude, commercial free.
I'm trying to get into the YouTube thing too. I dig it.
There's so much good stuff, man. I mean, anything that you want to learn.
TikTok for a little while, man, and you'll find.
Did you?
Hours will go by and you'll be like, oh my God, you'll come out of it. I literally I'm not TikToking for a week. And then I got easier. You know what I mean? It's like getting off drugs or something. And now it's rare, man. You'll see me get on it for a minute or two. And I'm like, I'm out.
Well,
that's great, man.
Yeah. I'm glad you're weaning yourself off of the TikTok, but I'm glad you brought TikTok up because Ash and I pulled our Cue the Muses music off streaming platforms like hell. It's like a year ago. We've had it off, and it was because of we had problems with we're trying to promote it, right? Trying to get people to hear it, and we want people to like use our music to have videos. One of the big things is TikTok videos with music are things that can go viral spontaneously, and our streaming service kept flagging the use and removing it. And
CD, it was CD Baby, or was it what's the one? DistroKid, yeah.
Another one.
So by having that, and this is just when he's saying we took it off streaming, we were still on YouTube, and we still would post on Facebook, but we weren't on Spotify anymore. We haven't been on Spotify.
You have to agree when you put it up that can it be used anywhere, even free? And I used to say no, and then I couldn't find it. And all my new stuff, I'm like, yeah, because I don't care. I'm not trying.
Are you talking about on TikTok or Spotify?
Whenever I upload it to DistroKid, when I upload my audio file for a song now,
yes.
Like, the song me and Butch just did, Dusty Road. When I uploaded it, it was like, it says, hey, it's going to be here. Is it okay to let it go everywhere? You're not going to get paid for that. And I said, yeah. And you can go.
Is that a new option, Dick, or was that there?
Yeah. That's what I was getting at because I just put a 7-song EP scheduled to come out next Friday. And it's the first time I posted anything through DistroKid in like 8 months or so. And there were new options. There's new options on there. One of them was specific to TikTok.
Yes.
And they
all the way at the bottom.
They want you to, but there's
Okay.
one they want you to pay for it. So
What? I
it's
didn't see
like
that.
this was brand new to me. I read it, and when I upload another thing, I'm gonna screenshot the
Yes.
system. I declined it on my personal thing because like I didn't pay. They had all these different new options to pay
Yep.
for things, and I was reading through it. I was like, wait, no, is this okay? It's still gonna go out, and it's still gonna be available everywhere. But I'm not paying for it. I'm not boosting it, and it's like it had options to put
Boost
on
the
playlists
sound.
now.
Yep.
Yeah,
did.
and so the main one on TikTok that I remember, it said, okay, per song to pay, like I think it was $14.95 per song
Golly.
to license it to the TikTok platform. You had to pay that annually, so a recurring payment per song for 15 or so dollars, and DistroKid keeps 20% of all revenue generated specifically on the TikTok platform by your song.
So they'll push that.
If they get that's a 20% is a large fraction
You're
when
in
it
line,
comes
especially
to a
if
clip.
something blows up, because it can blow up on there.
Yeah, so they're like these things because I just there's a band I know we've talked about on before. They're called the 502s. A buddy of mine at work, his brother-in-law is a member of the 502s. Great band. I saw him here local at the House of Blues in Orlando. Nearly sold out show. And that they're like an indie rock band. They got big because one of their songs went stupid viral on TikTok, and that was like what pushed them to that next level to where they're playing these big shows.
So it's $15 per song annually. They get 20% of the revenue generated by TikTok. It becomes licensed in the TikTok library, so it's something that if people use it, it would be available for them to use. TikTok will actually pay for that. And that'll go through DistroKid, and then DistroKid will take 20% off the top.
Yeah, that way, like if they make a video and then like by views, it generates X amount because of, I'm not sure how, like I need to dig more how that works, but that was the deal. It was like, if you want to pay for this, this is an option.
I don't understand why they would take 20%. Who are you paying? You're paying TikTok for your music to be on there? That's crazy.
TikTok is paying you for your music being a buzz.
Yeah, but who's getting the $15 annually?
DistroKid gets the $15 annually just to keep it on TikTok. Just to put it on TikTok.
Wow, yeah, dude, I'm talking about, I released something a month or two ago, and it was not that. It just showed all of them, and TikTok was at the bottom, and I just clicked them all. Yeah, even the ones that are free.
And that's how it was the last time that I uploaded something too. But because we're getting ready, we're getting ready to re-release all the Cue the Muse songs that are out.
Right.
All so two other songs in addition to the new one we're gonna drop. But hey,
all 80 minutes.
We'll have 3 songs. So actually that comes out to almost 30 minutes. Almost 30 minutes. Yeah, they are long songs. You know, as much as I don't
real quick, I don't want to cut you off. There's a time limit you have to pay if it's over 10 minutes. This last thing if the song's over 10 minutes, it costs more.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. And you still get, did it say anything specifically about clips? Because people aren't going to use whole songs anyway. People are using clips. And I mean, is it a pay that TikTok pays for total time, or is it plays? I wonder.
So I need to go back and set up and release. I'm releasing more stuff soon between Dave's last night stuff, our stuff, and the next album, the next half of my EP that Jason's going to be a part of. We can talk about that later. But when I do, like I said, I'm going to snip that. I wish I'd have snipped it 2 nights ago when I did it, but I need to snip it, and I want to send all the information to both of you guys because it's got some interesting stuff.
I'm sure it's a bit dense, but I mean, I would say this. In no way has any TikTok, like nobody's making money off of, TikTok, as far as getting their videos when they go, or their music when it goes viral, other than other means, right? Like, so once it goes viral up to this point, ultimately, there haven't been payouts. It's really just been you now are selling merch. You now have people at your shows.
Yes.
Hopefully it translates
Yeah.
into.
So
To have an
what
option
they're
where
getting
maybe
20% of what?
well,
Right.
I'm saying I'm not that intimidated about DistroKid taking 20% of something that didn't exist otherwise. I mean,
Right.
before we were trying to give it to the wind and hope that it took off for free.
Right.
Now there'd be a way to actually get some money from it, and via DistroKid handling all the copyright issues associated with that, which is why they're probably TikTok's using something like DistroKid where they don't have to worry about any of that shit. They can just let this company that has all that part of it figured out for them handle all the licensing and copyright issues. It's a simple, straightforward place to make payment to. But the part of it that I'd be leery of isn't the 20%. It's that in a world where TikTok has access to so much material that is it being AI generated at this point that might start to take off. It's like it has every endorsement to push and promote something that they don't pay jack shit to, which is a question mark as
Right.
to what might be happening on Spotify. Because there's been notorious or several episodes that have been very, very deep dives via Rick Beato's channel talking about these mystery artists on Spotify that literally have billions of plays. And when you look them up on YouTube, they've only got a few thousand plays. Then you
Yep.
track down all the albums and bands that this artist is in, and it's like 50 different bands, and you've never heard of any of them, and they all have tons of plays. And there's this question as to, are these just hired guns by Spotify to make quality music that they've licensed for a certain rate that then they don't have to pay royalties to, and they push them in these playlists to promote something and get it popular that gives them listening time, but they're not having to pay out for all that music.
It looks that way,
It sounds that way.
It sounds that way whenever
but now you've got AI added to that equation because it's getting that good. So now fake music with fake accounts, etc., they push that. They don't have to pay out for it. And I can't help but think that TikTok would head in that same direction if they aren't already. And they could help, but their algorithm, they could make whatever song popular they want to make popular.
Yes. Yeah.
They can do that.
If they can make money without spending money,
yeah.
Why wouldn't they? That's
right.
That's squeezing the rock. That's squeezing all of it.
Which makes me wonder.
And there's a clause. There's a new clause too on DistroKid. And this one goes back to that pay to get on the kind of, pay for plays. Remember pay for plays? Like, hey, you can do it on YouTube. It's kind of a dumb thing. And there was a clause on DistroKid that said you had to agree to it. Like, you had to agree, I am not going to use a service for this song on a pay for play to generate and it literally said something in the lines of ungenuine plays.
Yep.
It says if we find that that's happened, we are going to remove your content from we're going to remove it from our distribution service.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
which is good because
which is why your music is removed now.
That's why I don't have anything on there.
Man, it's tough.
Nobody tells me what to do.
I'm gonna sell my stuff. You might have it in one day. You remember, you're gonna have more luck selling your stuff on the corner, on the interstate on ramp, next to the guy asking for $5 for a dime bag.
I wish we had to close out this part of the conversation. I wish we had some good solutions, but there's not really. This is kind of an animal that's you have to fight, evolving. And it's very frustrating because you can just spend so much effort making something that people genuinely want to hear, and you can't even share it with the people that want to know that it exists, without personally messaging each person and hoping
the big fish have figured out a way to close us off again. Now we got to wait for something else to come up. TikTok came out and blew a lot of people up, and they're figuring out how to zip that up. You know,
Right.
YouTube did it, Facebook did it. A lot of people broke out off these platforms, and they've always figured a way to zip it up, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember
You're
Lars?
totally right.
Lars was part of the problem, zipping it up on us. We couldn't get the free Metallica
Oh
album.
man.
Lars
Nobody
was
broke
right.
out from that. Yeah, Lars was right. Lars seen it coming a long time ago, you know, and I didn't understand his argument then, but I get it now.
Yeah, I was too busy getting computer viruses off Kazaa and fucking
whatever, dude. Worm, my drummer from Core, man, he was on there. We were downloading every album. We didn't have to pay for anything. We were so guilty of it. Lars would hate me if he ever met me. I had all his albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. And you know, it's like, I don't know. One avenue that is interesting that I think is an inevitable, it's like being able to have a service where you can create your own channel, which you would say that this is YouTube, but the problem is it's still hard to get started on YouTube. But ultimately, like having a way, something better than YouTube would be where you can have more access to a full website that's ultimately got a subscription model.
Yes.
So your fans can contribute directly. The thing is that even if they're just contributing a small amount, if it's a lot of people, it goes a really long way, and then you're funding the artist to make more material. And I think the hard thing is that it's impossible to, not impossible, it's really, really challenging to create enough content to justify somebody to spend that money per month. They're really got to be in direct support of you. And one thing I've thought of a bunch, but it just takes somebody that's like handling and managing all this. It's like, you can't do it as one act. You really got to do a conglomeration of a bunch of local acts. Like if regionally in each city, a bunch of bands came together and they offered all their material that they were creating through this one pipeline that was a subscription model. And it's like you're supporting that community. So then they can come out, do more shows, host more events. It's like there's an idea there, but it's still super hard because just among the bands alone, I mean, it's a nightmare figuring out all the legal aspects of dividing the money a certain way. What if one band's got, 1 million streams and the other band has 10 streams? So is it a per stream thing? And who's following all that and monitoring all that? Well, maybe if there was a website that did all that for you, where it played judge or mediator and it already had all of it, all the math figured out for you. You could see on charts with analytics exactly why you're getting paid what you're paying. But it's out of a much smaller pool of direct talent that you know that you're funding, and also that when you're seeing, it's like, hey, there's 20 bands in this town that are on this platform. You may have to hit a certain criteria level of being inducted into it just with like a certain amount of material and making sure that it passes a certain quality test. Because if it just gets mowed over with a bunch of home recordings.
And everything you just said, for most bands, most bands are like, yeah, dude, whatever, man.
Right. It's too much already,
reality.
right?
That's reality. Because I even kind of glossed over when you were just saying that. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about it. I'm just saying, like,
hey,
come on,
I was in it, dude.
Young musicians, dude.
Jason's on it.
I visualized
it. I'm just like, I mean, there's got to be, I feel like you basically have to be a consistent source of content.
I'm going to get paid, man. Let's do it.
We'll put some dollar signs to it. I'll follow the instructions.
That's what you got to tell them. Like, you're going to get, this is how you get paid. You got to do this.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Herding cats together.
I do music for fun anymore, man. And hopefully one day my daughter can, listen to it, or grandkids or something, and be like, oh, that's cool. I'm past the point of trying to get somewhere with it,
Yeah.
I do
not
enjoy
yet.
it.
I'm not there yet.
Right. Well, I love it. I love it. And I would love for
Yeah.
a song to take off. You know what I mean? But I don't look at it like that when I'm writing it. When I'm done with it, most of the time I'm like, dang, this is good. I wish people could hear it, but who's going to hear it? And you got to get lucky, man. Right place, right time. You got to meet people. You got to get out. Y'all do it with the Cue the Muses. You do the Spokula and all
we
that.
have a massive hiccup in our whole battle plan here, which is that we're not a performing act. And I think any band that's not a performing act has got that's a real challenge to overcome.
That's Solo Cupp. Solo Cupp, same thing, but I don't
Right.
I'll go sing a song with Butch here and there, you know what I mean? But it's the same thing. I like being in a studio, you know what I mean? But I don't know. You can still rub elbows with the right person, you know. And, and
well,
them
and
share your idea, and that's all it's going to take.
That all it takes is one band to talk about you. That's a big deal. That thinks that what you're doing is great.
Be like, I love this idea, and then you'll be a touring act.
Right. That's kind of man. You know, the whole goal here of like making it, the entire thing is I just want to get to do it more. Like I like my job, but I am so passionate about getting to make more music and personal creations with video. I just want to be able to justify getting to do it more.
Yes.
And the only way to do it more is if there's monetary gain in it. It's just the reality. I'm a responsible person. I'm doing it as much as I possibly can while still being hopefully a great dad and husband.
Same thing with me, man. Nick has a job, I have a job, you have a job, and everything else, you know, is fun. And if you're not getting paid for it, that's just a hobby. Right. And I make time for it when I can anymore. And I'm not expecting any return in it. I do it because I love it. You know what I mean? And cool if you like it too, man. It makes me feel real special if somebody says, man, I dig that Dusty Road song. Man, that's cool because there's a lot of cool people playing in it, you know?
Yes.
And I mean, I love hearing that, but it's not a necessity. I enjoyed it doing it myself, and it was a release, you know what I mean? And I don't know, it gives me something.
I enjoy self production just as much as I enjoy going to the studio, to like someone else's studio. Yeah. But then at the same token, so Dave's Last Night's a group I've been in now. Dave's Last Night's been around for over a year. Okay, we have an album's worth. We recorded our drum tracks in Atlanta in February of this year. It is now it is now September of 2024, and I am still working in edits and mixing, and you know, it's just slow. It's like I can't work on it all the time. You know, I work on it when I can. I'm releasing a dual EP thing of my personal stuff, but these aren't songs I wrote last month and recorded. This is stuff I've figured out on my hard drive. Like, I have over the last 10 years, I've written and recorded a handful of songs that are finally enough that I could release it just to put it out there. Right? Just because like nobody's gonna like this stuff. These are songs like that I'm bashful even to show people. Some of them are like very personal, but it's like I'm just burying it in this concept album just to put it out there. My mom's gonna love it.
My mom is my number one fan.
Yeah.
Jason's gonna love it. I'm sure I'm gonna like stuff on there.
But that's the whole thing with music for people like us. Like I think if we're gonna do it I know I'm gonna do it one way or the other. It's just gonna happen. It's gonna, if I stop for a while. I picked up my acoustic guitar the other day and I realized I hadn't played my acoustic in almost, I feel like it's been almost a year. Like what? It was weird. It was this weird thing happened where I've just been playing my electric, doing the band thing, playing electric, and I was like, I don't know how long it had been. But when I started going through all the stuff that I usually record myself is all acoustic, and I picked the acoustic up. And then the biggest difference happened when I started playing my acoustic and gripping the strings. It was a noticeable grip improvement because I've been training jujitsu now for like 7-8 months consistently, and pulling chords on it. It was just like I had a power of hammering on without fretting on the right hand, just hammering on and pulling the chord and making it audible and loud.
Yes.
Like noticeable improvement. I was like, wow, I'm gonna play this thing every day now for the next 6 months.
I think out of all the people that play acoustic guitars around me, like Dick's probably my favorite. Writing,
you got great,
intricate, like crazy, it's just stuff I never heard. We got a song on Solo Cupp album called Day by Day, and I come over to his house here in Crawfordville, Florida, and I heard he was playing that, and I was like, bro, I need that. And I just lost my stepdad at the time, and I went and normally it takes me like months to write all the lyrics. I'll get writer's block or something, you know what I mean? And I'll come back to it. But I wrote that like quick, and I was like, I got it, bro. And we put it together, man. It was so cool to watch him with the the drums and bongos and stuff, how he did it, because he's completely different than me when it comes to writing. You know what I mean? I heard something else with this, and he did the right thing. Whatever he was done, I was like, oh, I can't even hear nothing else now. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
And then so he did that acoustic, and then he came in the studio with me and Butch and wrote Spinning Like a Record.
Yeah, totally.
And it was that crazy some of that picking and stuff that he does when he hammer on stuff in there. And I was like, good, man. You're good. But yeah, I've wrote lyrics to a few of his acoustic songs that I've never done nothing with. I don't even think I finished them all, but I got like some half songs, you know, and then they get lost and you forget about it. But yeah, I love your acoustic, man. You can do just acoustic with no vocals or nothing, and I'd buy it.
Well, there's a couple instrumentals on there that's coming out. There's one instrumental on this one. I've got a couple instrumentals that I'm talking with some vocalists about putting stuff on. There was one that I sent to one of the vocalists. I'm not going to call him out, but one of the vocalists on Cue the Muses, I sent him one, and I'll say, hey, we do this song, and they're like, yeah. And then like, oh man, I just can't pull teeth, I can't like keep diving in there. But so you're going to be on one of the songs on the next release. I'm going to push. That's why I divided it into two, because I was like, well, there's two different like perspectives. I realize in the stuff that I've written, like there's some that are kind of, I don't really do a lot of burying metaphors and stuff, like when I do my own vocals and I write stuff, it's kind of like I'm writing in a diary. And that's also why like it's more like I write that stuff for me. Like I'm not writing something for someone to relate to. It's just like, this is just to get this out. Like it has to happen. And so that makes it strange for me to like play music, the stuff that I write for people. Cause like, it's not, if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, fine. It wasn't for you. It's for me. But so the two, I realized there was two different perspectives from the lyrical standpoint, where it's like some of this stuff really was kind of like I was writing kind of out there, like not in a first person sense. And so splitting it up, I was like, the next one's going to be more grounded. Like this first one's like kind of like really abstract dream state kind of like perspective. The next one's more grounded in reality, like a waking state, like okay, shit that's actually happening. But that's where I've got a couple tracks that are for more vocalists on the next one. You need to be on there. We talked about this. Kurt's on a song on the first release. So is Tim Matthews. Tim Matthews is on the first one. But
I love Tim's voice, man.
He's such a unique, strange guy, and he has a thing that he can do where it's like really pretty and then the ugliest, snarliest bar fight you think of.
It's great. And just to be clear, are these the recordings that you're putting out, are these actually old recordings, or did you re-record?
No, some of them
these now,
some of them,
and record them here.
Yeah, some of them are old recordings. There's some that I'll probably run into some issues because there's a track that's on the first EP release coming out Friday that's actually something that I've had out and on YouTube for 10 years. Like it's a song that's been on YouTube as it is on the recording for 10. Now, I went through and I did updated mixes on them. They're the same sessions because I've been running the same Pro Tools rig with the same computer now since 2014. And the difference is when I recorded some of these songs, I use like the same. I've got this AKG vocal mic. It's a really good $250 mic. It's great. Some of the stuff, the earlier stuff, I did all my vocals. I still record guitars with this. So the newer stuff, I still use this. I have a really nice vocal mic that I didn't even use on any of the songs on this. Like this SM7B is pretty good for just doing like regular vocals. I do all backup vocals on the Dave's Last Night Out. Anytime I track my own backup vocals, I don't do the full setup and go and get like the $2,000 mic set up to do whatever. If I'm doing backup vocals, I'm sitting in this chair in this room and they're going into this guy.
Right.
And it just works. It's great.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like the mixing software that's out now is ridiculous. The
Yeah.
mastering software that's out now,
Yeah.
there's some really fun stuff out there.
Software is insane at this point. I know we've crossed our hour threshold, so we're coming to a close here. But I think in the next episode we should talk some about. There was some gear I wanted to talk about, but I'll research more about it and we'll bring it up in some fun looking stuff. But
that's a whole hour conversation.
Easily, that's the thing. I can't open.
I didn't realize we've been going an hour already.
Yeah, we're already at an hour and 4. And we were going to talk about health and fitness too, because we were going to have we're all going to do a workout in front of the camera and everything.
Yeah. That's why I wore the core shirt with the tight sleeves.
There you go. But instead we talked about, I think look at that, baby.
Look at that.
There it is, son, coming at you.
Mr. Shoulders over there.
That's what I've been working on my shoulders, man.
Hell
because
yeah.
I got some bad rotator cuffs in there. So
the
tighter I get those things, the better it feels,
Yeah. Yeah. Got to get them. The shoulders
I
are so
appreciate you
important.
guys having me on, man.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for coming on to the MuseCast, episode 49.
Might have to get
I came on the MuseCast
again. You know what? You're the only guest that's come on twice.
First return guest.
You're also the only guest we've ever had. So
Kurt hasn't been on once.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
All right. Let's close it out. Let's close it out.
Sounds good.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys. Hey, we got announcements coming soon. Next episode's episode 50, and I want to make a pretty big announcement regarding Cue the Muses and our Chapter 3 release plan. So check us out next time.
Later.
50.